Hello everyone, Karen T here. Welcome and thank you for stopping in. Today I want to share with you some ideas on how you can create a custom closet on a budget. Let's take a look. My home is an older home and the original master bedroom closet was never large enough for both my husband and I, and we always had our clothes strewn about in other closets throughout the home. Now, if you followed me, you know I'm all about double duty, and this room at one point served as my closet space as well as the guest room. I had wardrobes in here that I kept my clothes in, and there was also a queen-sized trundle daybed in here so that there would still be a comfortable place for guests. And then both my girls graduated and I had 2 more free rooms, so it became solely my closet. It was at this point that I decided to go ahead and take the cabinets out and put racks up. I didn't bother to paint the room at the time, even though this color here was a little dark for me, but I knew pretty much everything was going to be covered in clothing. So I didn't paint it, I just put the rods up. I functioned in this room for a lot of years with those walls, and then I decided that I wanted to utilize the space even more, serving even extra duty. So I wanted to bring my computer into this room. So I started by lightening the walls up, thinking that may help it feel a little larger and a little more open. I didn't bother to remove the wall brackets. We just painted around them, as many of them were in anchors and not studs, so I didn't want to create a mess that I would have to do a lot of patching and repairing on. So I began the process of returning the clothes to the closet and getting everything in order and as spread out as I could possibly, and it was still a little bit tight. And the reason that it was tight was because I downsized quite a bit. I removed some of my clothing and I voided out. That wall there used to also have clothing, 2 racks, an upper and a lower. So I wanted to get rid of that side of clothing as well. So what I did was I headed out to a thrift store and I found some children's chests. This is one of the chests I decided to place in a closet, which would give me some drawer space. So then I had 2 more. I thought the more drawer space, the better. I purchased 2 more. They were only $35 and they're children's chests. They're not the greatest quality, but very functional for what I wanted to do. However, after playing around with them and moving them about, I decided it wasn't enough for 2, so I purchased 2 more for a total of 4. And then I purchased my desk that's showing here, and I brought it in. And as you see, directly to the right of the desk, I'm still surrounded by clothing a little bit, which is what was beginning to bother me. This is literally the view from the desk. And I'm a girl that loves a lot of color and a lot of pattern, and this was just too claustrophobic feeling. So I thought, well, let's see what I can do to open it up. And I headed out and looked at some custom pieces. The prices were much more. Then I found these 2 pieces at a thrift store, and my husband and I started the process of painting them. So all in line with getting things to feel open, I knew that I could put 2 racks of clothing between these 2 side piers, and I could use these to put either my jewelry, handbags, or whatever I decided to put in them. But the goal was opening up the room a little bit. So this was the before and this was the after, and it feels much more open already. Then I had my husband add 2 little corner pieces so that I could put folded pieces on or anything I wanted, decorative pieces. It's always room to grow. So this is the cabinets in along with the 2 racks of clothing. However, I still could not decide what to do with that wall. So sometimes what works best for me is to walk away from a project, live with it a while, and then make the decision. So that's what I did. So as you remember, these were children's chests, and they had the little silver handles on them, and I knew I wanted to swap those out, and I wanted to bring it with the theme of the room, which would be gold and white. So that's what I did. I worked on the handles. And the more that I was living in the space and realizing that I was not going to want clothes back on that wall, I decided to add even more drawer space. A lot of times, if you can't go out, go up. So what I decided to do was purchase these 2 drawer cubes from Amazon. I believe they were about $39, and they were going to go under the 2 bookshelves that was now housing my shoes. This way I'd have additional drawer space for some of the items on that wall that I'm thinking of not using. On that wall was a lot of skirts that could be folded and put away. So that's why I purchased these. And they fit almost perfectly under the 2 bookcases. Now I've had an opportunity to actually function in the room. I've worked in here. I've sat in here and just had some quiet time. I've moved around in here, and I'm certain beyond certain, even though it's taken a while, I am certain that I do not want clothing on that wall. And again, with the theme of double duty and making the most of a small space, I decided to go half and half. The bottom half would still keep some of my skirts on, and the upper half would be where I would incorporate office things. So my husband removed the rods so that he could cut them in half, and I began doing just a little patching on the areas that I was dreading having to repair or patch up. So I just sanded it down to smooth it out a little bit. I didn't even bother actually patching all of the holes, mostly because I forgot and was just anxious to get going. So I just dolloped on some paint with a brush and then went over it with a roller just to kind of smooth it out and blend it in with the rest of the wall. And we let that dry. I also remembered that I had some brackets that could hold the shelving, and I thought this would be a great way to incorporate some gold on that wall as well. So I got out the can of spray paint and I painted the brackets that would hold the shelves, and I painted them gold, and I love the way they came out. Also, I just wanted to mention, I forgot to mention earlier, that the way that I was able to still store all of the clothing I had was by taking all of my maxi dresses, and I'm a huge maxi dress girl, and I put all of those in the small closet that's already in the room. So a vast majority of the pieces are in that closet. I just wanted to share that. And I also used the same paint to spray the screws that would be used for the brackets. So once I decided where I want the shelving to be, my husband attached the brackets. And here's a look at how it came out. I'm very pleased with the way it came out. It's so much more refreshing than an entire wall of fabric, and it also has spaces that I can store things on, and I can utilize the space, and it makes so much more sense, and it just feels better, which was actually my main mission in this, to have it be a more comfortable space and not feel enclosed by clothing and fabric. And not to mention, I have allergies, and since I didn't have any glass or doors surrounding the clothing, it would be more of a dust hindrance than anything to just have all of that fabric around. So this is much more functional. It's much more aesthetically appealing. It feels great. I love this space even more when I come in here, and it did not cost a lot of money. The shelves I already had from, I believe, another project. The brackets to hold the shelves I already had. I just spray painted them. Most of the items on the shelves I already had. The gold and white box was a different color. I just painted it white and gold. The basket, the gold basket, I already had. That's actually, at this point, holding my spray paints. I have cans of spray paints in there. So it's quite functional, and I love it. I hope that you found something that maybe has inspired you to maybe do some changes in your space. You know, you may not have your dream home, but you can make your space dreamy. You can make it what you want it to be. You can do it on a budget. It just depends on how much you want to spend. And I'm one that I don't want to spend a lot of money, and I prefer to find pieces that I can find at thrift stores and, you know, use the most practical pieces that are very inexpensive and still acquire the same effect. I hope you found something inspirational in this video and gotten some ideas for yourself. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you've enjoyed the video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, and also please subscribe and hit the little notification bell so that you'll be notified of any new videos that I have. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you so much. And until next time, this is Karen T saying so long for now.